So I recently watched the new Mad Max movie. You know the one about Furiosa that came out last year? No lie, it was quite an interesting movie. As an origin story, they did a good job explaining how, why, and how Furiosa became Furiosa. But the whole time while I was watching the movie, I was more interested in what was happening in the background. Then the question hit me: where exactly are these people? Okay, before we go far, I'm going to put up a disclaimer and say that I've only seen two Mad Max movies: Mad Max Fury Road and the new one that's about Furiosa. From my understanding, they both take place in the same area. I mean, both movies literally have the same characters moving around the same general area, so they're the ones I'm going to put all my focus on. Where do these two movies take place? Based off of what we can see in the movie, we already know a couple of things. The first thing is that all of these characters are trapped in this desert landscape. So, the first thing I did was I researched where are all the deserts in the world. Google, being the most helpful search engine that it could be, just said that, hey, buddy, there's one in every continent. There's a couple in Africa, there's a couple in Asia. Don't forget about the ones in both of the Americas, and there's also one in Australia. Cool. So that brings us nowhere closer to the answer. But a cool fun fact I learned in this Google search is technically Antarctica and the North Pole basically are also deserts, depending on what you mean by the word desert. Anyways, we still don't know where these people are. So the next piece of evidence I looked at is the cars, specifically the truck. Okay, so from my understanding, there's only one continent that uses trucks that are shaped like this. You know, the trucks with the long nose. Asia, Europe, Africa, and South America uses trucks that look like this. You know, the flat face trucks. And from my research, I understand that only North America uses these trucks. The only problem with the truck, however, is even though it looks just like the American trucks, it has one major difference: it's right hand drive. The weird thing is, every other car in the movie is left hand drive, so that just makes everything more confusing. We know that American cars are all left hand drive, so what's up with this truck? So I did even more research and found something interesting. It turns out Australia uses these American trucks, and Australians have cars that are right hand drive. Cool. But that doesn't help us narrow anything down. These Mad Max characters could still be in any continent. I don't know if you know anything about continents, but they're all big. Okay, so I looked at the last piece of evidence that I could get from the movie, and high key, this is where I should have started. Uh, I don't know if anyone else noticed, but everyone in both the Mad Max movies is white, so we can instantly rule out all of these deserts. You know, for obvious reasons. They can't be in Asia because the cars and the people don't match. For those exact same reasons, they can't be in Africa. I won't even entertain them being in South America because they speak English throughout the whole movie, and the trucks. Never forget the trucks. So that leaves us with one of two places. It's either they're in Australia or America. Okay, so while I was watching the movie, I did see the characters make it to a place called Gas Town. It's like a town with a massive oil refinery, and it's literally where they all get their fuel. Of what little I know about Australia, them having oil isn't something I'd bet on, and I've seen American movies where they've dug up oil in the middle of nowhere, so I was ready to place my answer on the table. But I did do one last Google search. Google, does Australia have oil? Damn it! Australia has oil. Why is it so hard to find out where these people are? Wait, where did they even shoot this movie? Oh my gosh, they shot all the movies in Australia. Okay, so at this point, I know what you guys think I'm going to say. You think I'll concede and accept the fact that they're all in Australia? Well, no. See, the thing is, Australia does match all of the prerequisite that this movie gave us. It explains why they have that specific truck and right hand drive. They literally have the correct environment, seeing as how they literally shot the movie here. And almost everyone in Australia is white, but I'm not convinced. A lot of movies are filmed in one place that's made to look a certain way, but in the movie they tell us they're somewhere else. I know that all the Mad Max movies, except for one, were all shot in Australia, but with these two, I don't buy it, and that's only because of one reason: the accents. No one has the Australian accent in this movie. Not even Captain Australia himself. He did have a weird accent in the movie though. So where are they? Probably Australia. And now a quick word from our sponsors. I don't have sponsors. Please like the video.